nurses who get high on their own supply, which is not their own. It's supposed to be medication administered to the patients in a facility. But we have so many nurses out here that I heard on the show that I did the other day, and it makes sense. They go for that job because they can get their opioids. Now, you being a nurse, please tell me that this isn't true, but it's believable. Have you had any experiences with this situation?
Most definitely. I've been a nurse in Southwest Florida for several years. I've been a nurse all told for 17 years, so I've seen it from facility to facility to facility.
Like that?
Like that, because there's a nursing shortage. So anyone that walks in the door, they pretty much hire them unless you can tell right off the bat that something's wrong. But if you look a certain way, or I should just say if you're a white nurse, they'll hurry up and take you regardless of how you look. So when they come in and these things all of a sudden start missing, they make excuses because not all patients want a black nurse to take care of them. So they'll make excuses.
That makes sense.
For the white nurse all the time.
Oh, wow.
In Southwest Florida, I had a situation where the nurse was prematurely taking off patches on patients. And then when you go to look for the patch is gone, and they'll say the nurse took it off, or it just fell off. The patient won't know. Sometimes the patient aren't able to communicate what happened to the patch. And the nurse would take it, soak it, and either do whatever she does to get the medication out those patches.
It's that bad?
It's that bad. She'll come in early in the morning before the wound care nurse will come in, and she'll take off all the pain patches on the patients and take them home.
And just to get high?
Just to get high, yep.
Wow.
Yep.
So you say there are a lot of patients that don't want to have a black nurse take care of it.
Most definitely. They come in with their prejudices, and it's only so much you can hide. When you're in pain or when you're older, what's inside comes outside, so they can't really hide it. And they would prefer to be taken care of by a white nurse, even though if the white nurse may be lesser qualified or might not know as much. At the end of the day, when they're in pain, you're still a nigger bitch, or you're still whatever. And
you can say it
in their
right.
worst circumstances or situation. They'll lash out at you because you're the nigger in the room.
So I'm assuming you've had direct contact with these types.
Most definitely. And you smile, you say whatever. Hey, you know what? At the end of the day, I'm going to clock out and I'm going to go home.
Male and female, also.
Mostly males, sometimes females. But if they're older and they're raised in the South and that's how they are, that's
right.
just how they are.
Right.
When they're younger, they might have been able to hide those feelings or keep those feelings on the inside. But when you're older and you're losing your mind, everything that's inside just comes outside.
Isn't that something?
So you can't hide those behaviors or those thoughts anymore.
So could you imagine the Donald Trump getting older and being taken care of?
Well, he ain't hiding it now. So.
Well, there's more. There's a whole lot more under there.
I'm sure there is, most definitely.
But back to the nurses that get high. What are the other tactics that they use and how does the facility work with them, even when they know? These facilities know that these are dope heads.
Most definitely. They'll move them around.
Just like the Catholic Church and pedophile priests.
Exactly. It's the same exact thing. I was working on a cart. The day shift nurse was the one with the issue.
Mm-hmm.
So when you count off the narcotics, the day shift nurse and the evening nurse have to come in and count the narcotics in a drawer together. And it has to match what's in the book. So the book will say there's 3 mLs of whatever, and I look in the cart and there's only 1. I'm not taking the cart. I go to the DON. I said, there's a problem.
Right.
The morphine's off. And she goes, oh, well, sometimes it evaporates. I said, 2 mLs of morphine just evaporated out of the bottle between yesterday and today? How could that happen? Oh, well, maybe they just weren't... don't worry about it. I'll sign off on it. And that's the director of nursing coming and signing off that it's okay that those 2 mLs of morphine
so
is
they
missing.
know their staff is messing around.
Most definitely.
And they don't question it.
And I told her, I said, well, I don't want to work behind that nurse again because I don't want every time I'm counting the cart with her, it's an issue with missing narcotics. Now, if I'm just getting on, there's no way I could have interfered with that. And if you're not seeing what the problem is, there's nothing I can do about it, so I don't want to work behind that nurse anymore. So they move me.
Wow.
I've been moved. I'm fine with that.
They protect their own for real.
At least I don't have to deal with that situation anymore.
But if it was one of them coming behind you in the cart was missing some narcotics.
I'd be written up 6 times. On the first offense.
And this is in different facilities you've worked in.
They'll keep the white nurse because they're either an RN or they had a she make excuses for why she's keeping her on. So they moved her from that card eventually because other nurses were complaining that medications were missing. And then patients started saying, she didn't bring me my oxycodone. She said it was too soon and she gave me a Tylenol. But in the book where she's signing out the medication, or on the computer where she's signing out that she took out oxycodone. The patient said, I know the difference between a Tylenol and an oxycodone, and that's not what she gave me. You go to the DON with the patient's complaint. Oh, she doesn't know what she's talking about. She's old. She makes mistakes all the time. And
It's just such a lighthearted, this is a very serious thing.
Very serious thing, but at best, once enough patients complained about that particular nurse not giving them their medication, they finally moved the nurse. They moved her and they put her in a supervisory position.
Oh, no.
So she could be over everybody's cart.
Oh, no.
And, she'll go take a break. I'll pass your meds for you, and then your meds are missing.
Wow.
She's still there. I quit.
Unbelievable.
She's still there, moving up the ranks, stealing everyone's drugs, watering down the morphine in a bottle, so now that no one can say the count is low, but the morphine, instead of being a dark pink,
it's lighter.
It's now carnation pink because there's so much water in the bottle. You take the watered down morphine to the DON. Well, how'd that happen? And I'm done. So
the medical field overall, there are a lot of gaps and loops and holes that people can manipulate, and the patients are the ones who are going to suffer.
The patients are the ones that suffer because they're not getting the medication.
We're not talking about just the abuse with the narcotics and things that they may need for pain. I don't believe in any of that stuff, but if I'm in enough pain, maybe I might,
Right.
But we're not even speaking about the sexual abuse, the racism, just the whole overall, what could I say? Have you experienced anything else other than that in these facilities, or observed things, or had complaints?
Well, most of the complaints fall on deaf ears, and once you complain too much, now you're a problem. So rather than be a problem, I got my stuff together and I said, I'm out of here. One day I just left and never went back, and then I opened my own business. So
Right. That's the best thing.
I don't have to worry about it anymore.
That's right. What would you suggest for anyone who's looking to bring their family, loved ones to a facility for whatever reason? This is a broad stroke of a question. What would you have them really look at? I mean, you just can't come in on one visit. You get all the smiles and you get the glowing brochures and how nice things are. But what would you suggest that a family member do who's really concerned? Because I also know that you do have family members that just drop them off and say, hey, take care of them, and they don't even visit them.
Right.
But for a concerned family member who wants to make sure that their family has care in one of these facilities, what would you suggest overall, what to look for? Should they come multiple times, different times, to check a place out, check the complaints, or how would that work?
The squeaky wheel gets the grease. If you're coming and they know you're coming every day or as often as you can, mama's going to be taken care of, mama's going to be fed. As long as they know someone's coming to check on that person, they will not be neglected and they will be taken care of. And if your loved one is, has the mindset that they could recognize their medications or whatever, if they know something's not right, listen to them. A lot of times oh, mama, it's okay. They know what they're doing. Listen to them. Because a lot of times the patient's right. Unless the patient's confused or paranoid, the patient's right. If you need pain medication, let the nurse bring you the pain medication in the container. Let her break it open in front of you so you know that that's what she's giving you.
Right. I never thought about that.
Don't let her bring you 2 little pills in a cup and say, here's your pain medicine. No, I want to see the package that it came out of. And then you know that that's what it is. They can bring the Cardexes in the room, the cards with the pills on it, and pop the pill out in front of you so you can see that that's what it is that you're getting.
Right.
Or if it's on a blister packet, they can bring the blister packet into you and pop it out and give it to you so you can know that that's the medication you're receiving instead of a Tylenol.
Wow. Thank you so much, sweetheart. I would have never thought about this, and I hope that all who are listening can get something out of it. And I would love to hear the comments from other nurses and other people in the medical field who can shed more light as to this abuse, and maybe we can stop it. Thank you, sweetheart.
You're welcome.
Make sure to check out the boldest blog at Lancescurv.com and follow Scurv on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube under Lancescurv.